Activists accused Tanzania's leaders of promoting a culture of human rights violations, as the release of two high-profile child rapists this week coincided with calls for pregnant schoolgirls to be arrested. John Magufuli, the Tanzanian president, pardoned the two men, who were convicted of the rape of 10 primary school children aged between 6 and 8, along with thousands of other prisoners, in his Independence Day speech on Saturday. News of their release emerged as a government official in the East African country called for pregnant pupils to be taken into custody. On Monday, John Margella, the regional commissioner of Mwanza, said the move would force girls to testify against those who impregnated them. This followed calls from the president earlier this year to ban pregnant girls from school. The released rapists are singer Gazu Viking, known as Babu Saya, and his son, Johnson Gazu, known as Papi Ikasha, who were pardoned by the president after serving 13 years of their sentence. They had been convicted in 2003 of raping the children, pupils at Mashajar Primary School in the Kyodoi district of Dar es Salaam. Fazia Mohammed, the director of Equality Now's Africa office, said, while President Magufuli is pardoning convicted child rapists, Regional Commissioner John Margella is calling on pregnant schoolgirls to be arrested and taken to court. Tanzania's leaders are promoting a culture of human rights violations in which young victims of sexual violence are being punished while perpetrators are going free. She said the policy of banning pregnant schoolgirls, often victims of rape or sexual coercion, failed to address the issue of who impregnated them. It is unacceptable that convicted child molesters walk free by order of a president who simultaneously denies victims of assault access to education if they become pregnant. After seeing their attackers sentenced to life for rape, now these survivors and their families are dealing with the pain of witnessing the president freeing the men who violated them. Where is the justice in that? She said. Petrida Paul, of Youth for Change, in Tanzania, said the pardons sent a terrible message to perpetrators of sexual violence and devalued their victims. It is unfair to the victims of these crimes and it sends a bad message to perpetrators that they can get away with it, said Paul. The release of the men caused outrage on social media, with many posting the statements of the young girls who were violated, she said. Children's rights groups say this is just the latest example of the president's lack of understanding of violence against children. Kate McAlpine, the director of Community for Children's Rights in Tanzania, told the BBC she was horrified but unsurprised by Magufuli's decision or the call to arrest pregnant schoolgirls. This story is indicative of a failure at the top level of political will to end violence against children, she said. Pregnant schoolgirls are pregnant because they are victims of violence. He has a blind spot when it comes to recognizing children as victims.